This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
And I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what's going on, man?
Hey, John. Well, it's like it's how things normally roll over here. It's like there's like an event in the Marvel universe. It's like hey, I feel obligated to cover it. Like, well, basically the fact that there's a event that I'm interested in. It's like, and I want to talk about it. And this would be the Last Annihilation, or more realistically, the Last Annihilation until the next one.
So, what is this? This is a Marvel comic?
Yes, it is. It's basically a Guardians of the Galaxy centric like event spun off by its current writer Ewing, who yep, the guy who gave us the Immortal Hulk, it's like, and all sorts of other it's like great, it's like great comics. It's like Loki, like Agent of Asgard. It's like, and it's like, oh man, it's like, why can't I think of anything else right now? But he's done like all sorts of good stuff for for Marvel. It's like he's basically like a writer that I've enjoyed. Oh, his New Avengers, AIM, and US Avengers stuff that I've thoroughly enjoyed. And he's basically a writer who, whenever I see his name, I'm gonna want to like keep buying his stuff. Now, like regular readers will know that I picked his work on Guardians of the Galaxy and S.W.O.R.D as like some of my favorite work for the year of 2012. But the thing is, though, that we subsequently learned that hey, his work isn't going to continue on like on these titles, but it's going to be hopefully subverted into X-Men Red, which is basically the story of like Planet Araco, which is Mars, and it's like in it's basically going to be the story of like how Storm is managing like the Araco mutants. It's like on it's like on this planet now. The mutants have basically said like hey, planet like the solar system is ours, and Planet Araco is like is our capital, and there's plenty of like drama to be mined from that. Basically, in the sense that hey, like it's basically like covering like the solar system like a mutant star system, but also decentralizing the importance of Earth in regards to Marvel's cosmic cosmic era. So on one hand, I think that's like a great idea right there. It's like, but at the same time, like it kind of like also like has like tell us like hey, what kind of stories you to tell like with Earth decentralized as the main planet in the solar system. It's like with hey, like now the mutants are running things here. Well, it's like the Last Annihilation is, you get the feeling that it was originally meant to be a story that basically like supercharged Ewing's run on Guardians of the Galaxy, and also like gave like a bit of a boost to his run on S.W.O.R.D as well. That probably turned out not to be the case because, well, S.W.O.R.D is ending with issue 11, and Guardians of the Galaxy, as by the time if you're paying attention to like how Marvel runs things, by the time you're listening to this, well, it ended with issue 18, which is like the last installment of the Last Annihilation. Funny how that works, huh? Well, it's, but is this a case where like the series deserved to end on on that arc? Kinda, not really, because well, I think that the first two volumes of of the Guardians of the Galaxy were really excellent, and the first volume of S.W.O.R.D was quite great, along with its tie-in to the Hellfire Gala, which basically established the fact that hey, like the mutants are like giving establishing a new universal currency known as the Sol, but backed by their quasi magical mutant metal the Mysterium. Well, there's like lots of stuff to be done there, but it's all like kind of being like wiped out here, which is kind of disappointing because the because basically like one of the first two volumes of Guardians of the Galaxy were great. This third one, which basically has the title of We're Superheroes, basically establishes reestablishes the team as a galactic service agency, in the sense that they're being called in to to take on any 8x8 or basically big galactic danger like um threats, such as when the first threat they take on, which is by the progenitors, like a group of science aliens who are attacking the Kree, the Kree Skrull Alliance homeworld of Hala, or one of them at least, one of the homeworlds. It's and basically because this is also a follow up to Empyre, which basically saw the like the Kree and the Skrull aligning together against the threat of the presented by the Kotati, along with the it's the Avengers and the X-Men, backing them up as well, and also um Al Ewing, who's one of the co-writers on that series, along with Dan Slott, basically presenting some vague threats for the for the new ruler of the Kree Skrull Alliance, Emperor Doric, or as we all know him, Tiddy Altman, um, Hulkling of the Young Avengers, basically being thrust into the role of Emperor. It's and I kind of to deal with all sorts of threats that come his way, along with his with his Emperor consort, Bill, it's Billy or Wiccan of the Young Avengers. So that's kind of the what the initial thread of this series of this arc starts off, because this is basically a two pronged assault, because because basically if you're reading Guardians of the Galaxy, you read volume 3 and you get the big crux of the last Annihilation, which basically involves, because okay, to back up a bit, Annihilation is basically a term that has weight in the cosmic Marvel sphere, because basically after Keith Giffen and company did this way back in the day, and I did do a podcast about this way back in the day. It's basically Annihilation basically talks about a big huge cosmic threat, basically implies big huge cosmic threats to Marvel's cosmic sphere, not necessarily Earth, but Marvel's cosmic cosmic races and all. It's and there was the original Annihilation, which basically involved an annihilist being bringing a big it's a big wave of death through the Marvel universe, and then Annihilation Conquest, which basically involved Ultron trying to do the same thing through the cosmic sphere again. It's been revived a couple times since, but this is the the last Annihilation is basically get the feeling it was initially conceived as a storyline to kickstart Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy, to give it some oomph in the commercial sphere, and that didn't work regrettably, because as good as Ewing's writings is, it this this third volume of his for Guardians of the Galaxy, We're Superheroes, which contains the bulk of the of the last Annihilation storyline. Well, that was it. This issues 13 through 18 were the last of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's a big regret. And the fact that his S.W.O.R.D series is ending with issue 11 is also disappointing. But as I've mentioned in earlier podcasts, the fact that he's doing he's going to be doing X-Men Red, like we just see the X-Men, sort of like them running Planet Araco, Mars. Like he's gonna like, get those storylines going there. Like any I pick up those like any threads from these series in that one as well. But is the Last Annihilation any good? Well, kinda, mostly. I mean, the basic idea is that the Guardians of the Galaxy has gone big. And they're trying to set up a big like superhero type organization, like an Avengers of the space that can save everyone. And that's cool. It's like good. It's a good idea. But at the same time, like there's all sorts of like petty squabbles and personal differences that are separating people. Such as the fact that Richard Rider, Nova, Gamora, and say Rocket Raccoon are still like kind of pissed at Star Lord Peter Quill for the fact that after he quote unquote died in the first volume of Guardians of the Galaxy and then came back to life in the second. Well, they're just kind of wondering, like, yeah, what's your deal here now? Like, you're basically saying you're like doing some kind of cosmic awareness, um, in terms of like serving the entire universe and all. Oh, and also that you kind of had a son and a family while you were like away from us, like all these years. Like, what's going on, man? It's like so there's there's that to consider, but also the fact that it turns out that Doctor Doom, yes, the Doctor Doom, has also um been made aware to like a certain threat like facing the galaxy, and that he has he's decided to make his presence known like in the in the cosmic sphere. But the problem is that because like well Doom is like like a master strategist. It's like and master of the mystic arts. He's also like insanely arrogant, and so when Moondragon was able to like see him transferring his psychic essence over to Hulkling's Hulkling's physical form, like after a certain point, it's like she's able to like swap it over to Rocket Raccoon and basically convince and basically allow the Guardians of Leverage to basically say, hey, you know what, Doom, it's like if you want to like get back to your own body, you're going to commit to working with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Doom is just too proud of a guy to just say otherwise. And so that's kind of where things are in the first half of the series, because like one half like they're fighting against the it's like like the threat posed to like the Kree Skrull homeworld of Hala, and then there's another team that is like investigating a resurrected ego living planet like out in the it's like not on the borderlands, but also finding out that like ego is also host to like a much more dangerous presence later. It's like later on, but here's the thing with how this series is being collected, because while you've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which collects issues 13 through 18 of the series, and it's basically like the spine of the Last Annihilation event. Well, it's like when you get to the like, Last Annihilation collection, you're getting issues 16 through 18 of Guardians of the Galaxy. So you're missing some crucial build-up here. But also you're getting the like some crucial like side stories like from Cable Reloaded and the Last Annihilation, Hulkling and Wiccan one shots, and the Wakanda one shot, which basically tells you what it's like what T'Challa was doing, along with like the Emperor, not Emperor, um, uh, the Gorilla King was doing. It's like, God damn, that's not the right thing, but I know it's what I'm trying to like think what I'm saying here. But that's what this series is kind of like really kind of splintered. And if you want to like enjoy the spectrum of it, you're gonna want to get the like get just get Marvel Unlimited, or just buy issue 16 through 18 of the series, along with all the tie-ins, which is S.W.O.R.D issue 7, Keeble Reloaded, and Lost Annihilation, Wiccan and Hulkling, and Wakanda as well. So there you go. But as far as what you're getting, well, the Guardians of the Galaxy story does do the bare minimum of telling you what's going on in terms of just the fight against this threat, which is basically a big sorceress threat. And I guess maybe I don't want to tell you exactly who the big threat is, because it's I did enjoy the series enough to tell you to hide that from everyone. It's an interesting threat. It's one that preys upon the big magical Marvel threat of the Marvel universe, and someone who is a big major villain to Doctor Strange, but in terms of fighting against these cosmic heroes, well, it's seeing him work his magic. It's kind of a new perspective on this kind of threat. So that's so on one hand, that's kind of cool. At the same time, reading just the Guardians of the Galaxy issues won't give you the full perspective. And as will while the getting the collection of the event to entitle Last Annihilation will miss you out on some of the big proper build up of the series. But as far as the tie-ins go, well, I want to say that the best part of this event is Cable Reloaded, because at this point in the series, well, young Cable has been dispatched to parts unknown, and at some point maybe I'll talk about that and just what he was doing. But well, we've got old guy Cable back. It's back in back working with Krakoa and just mutants at large, and reading the Cable Reloaded issue, which is written by Al Ewing. It's actually pretty fun, because it's kind of because Cable is kind of what is one of those 90s of heroes, and since he's he's grim. It's he knows about his future. It's a dark future, and he's come back to the past to save us from experiencing his future at all costs. And Ewing is leans into that. It's that kind of storytelling with his with his storyline. When he says I've got lots of pouches. What I've got my pouches, bullets. It's that kind of thing. It's and there's lots of that kind of extreme grittiness in this issue, but at the same time there's this winking at the audience as you listen to what his Cable, one who's who's lived through the worst of the future and has come back to save the past. It's kind of fun, especially when he talks about when Rocket Raccoon shows up and he says Rocket is so ready to basically say, yeah, it's I know you're basically not going to respect someone like me who's a rocket who just talks like a man. And Cable's sir, no, sir, yes, sir, I'm ready to talk about listen to whatever you have to say, because he's kind of Alexander the Great cross with Jesse James. That's kind of fun. And as is the bits where he has to lead a team headed by Cannonball, Boom Boom, Layla Cheney, and WizKid, people who all have varying perspectives on his legacy, but perspectives that all have that are all willing to be viewed in a certain favorable way in the sense that hey, like Cable, like he's kind of like one of like the big mutant heroes. It's like, and even though it's like there's kind of like a wink, wink and a nudge to how Ewing portrays Cable in this in the story, it's still like quite fun, and it's like entertaining, especially since it usually involves like him like invading the break world to find a way to get a big gun that's gonna like shoot like this big threat in the head. But it's portrayed in a really entertaining way. It's probably the best part of this of the storyline, just because it's like it has self awareness and humor that actually is pretty entertaining. And then you have the other couple of tie-ins, which there's a sword on number 7, which is like the second best part of this storyline, which basically has like it's like has shows us what Abigail Brand is doing in order to work this situation to advantage, while also showing what Doom is doing in order to ingratiate himself into the mutants. Into power structure. By that I mean like he's having dinner with Storm, and he's basically trying to tell her that, hey, you know what? I know what you mutants have been doing with this new Mysterium material, and I can tell you how to work this to your advantage. But it's like you've got to let Doctor Doom, who knows best, tell you what to do. So it's one hand, it's fun to see Doom posture and Storm react to what Doom's offer is, but also more interesting is the fact that sword number 7 is basically the payoff to the setup that was seen at the end of Empyre. This is when we see Emperor Doric, or Titty Altman Hulkling of the New Avengers, being like shown to be at the mercy of forces beyond his control, and then Abigail Brand showing up to save him. Well, this is basically how that happens here, and it's also showing you how Abigail Brand was setting things up to take advantage of the fact that, hey, the Scarlet Witch, mother of the of Emperor of Teddy Altman's or Emperor Doric's consort, Billy Kaplan, Wiccan, his mother has been dead, due to reasons that beyond our control for the as a result of the Hellfire Gala. It's she's working to make things to make that particular plot point work in her advantage, and I thought that was really cool, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that turns out. Now, as far as the other two tie-ins, the Last Annihilation, Wiccan and Hulkling, well, that basically tells you how it's how Billy got his husband's sword, his husband's magical sword back, after being after forces conspired to destroy it in sword number 7. But it's basically also a recap of their high school meet cute, and how they got to know each other. So it's written by Anthony Olivier. It's and with art by John Basaluda, and it's nice. It's fine. It's I can't say it adds a whole lot to the series, but as far as it goes to the story of this event, it's fine. And then there's the Wakanda tie-in, written by Evan Narcisse with art by German Peralta, and that's all right as well, because it basically talks about a man ape. It's and how he's or Gorilla Man, not Gorilla Man, a man ape. It's and how he's basically how he's inheriting the name from Wakanda's history, but also he's the person who fought alongside T'Challa in the in the liberation of the great intergalactic Wakandan Empire. So it's kind of like meant to set up him as far as as T'Challa's new regent, like for this intergalactic Wakandan Empire, and it's fine. And there's some decent stuff, which is like settling things like with the Shi'ar Empire as well. But I can't say that it makes me want to read more stories about this character. It's fine, it's all right, but it's not anything special as well. But then you get to the end, like the core series, the core issues in Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like they're decent, but they don't actually like give us like a huge like big epic space story that we kind of expect from 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 the Annihilation storyline. I mean, it's good. Al Ewing like knows how to like dive into like continuity, dusty continuity, and make it interesting. This is when Nova has to like basically tries to set up like a fight against Magneto, like for a story that was from a Captain America annual was almost 40 years ago, but he still manages to set up a nice conversation between the two characters that gives them some kind of common ground that also just gives like Nova like some believable credence to his fighting alongside villains like Doom and say Super Scroll. But but overall, I mean the story is fine, and like the uh, the resolution of it is is pretty well staged sort of like cosmic Marvel standards. But in the end, I guess you could say it's all right. It's like it's fine. Ewing does do a good job of setting things up and bringing some drama out from these situations he set up his characters in. But at the same time, this you get the feeling this is kind of like a storyline that was meant to like drive his Guardians of the Galaxy take onto like bigger and greater heights as it really deserved. But in the end, it's like Marvel just like looked at this and thought, the returns on this aren't all that great, so we're just going to call it quits right here, which is disappointing. But no, it really is disappointing because I really did like Ewing's run on Guardians of the Galaxy, and to see it see it axed on the event of a big storyline that was meant to that was clearly meant to elevate it is disappointing. I mean, they do a good job of just like wrapping things up in the final issue, basically positioning the Guardians win against this big evil magic cosmic threat as hey, this is a good thing. And also like Doom, his involvement also being a good thing as well. Well, good thing for him because this was when he says was because after he's able to absorb some magic in this threat. He says hey, he's like this is part of, even though I wasn't able to get the sword from Emperor Dorek, it's or the magic from his consort, I still got the magic from this threat, and it's that's good because eventually there will be a reckoning, and that's basically it's a reference to the Reckoning War that's going to be happening in the Reckoning War storyline that's happening in Fantastic Four. But as far as the Last Annihilation, well, if this really was the Last Annihilation, then I guess I'd kind of be disappointed because it doesn't offer a big, nice cosmic tie-off to these storylines that have come before. As it is, it's like it's fine. I mean, Ewing has basically given us stories that like are like entertaining and like have a basis of continuity and are fun in itself. And really, it's like his cable reloaded stuff is great. I'd love to see him like take on another cable storyline, but as it is, it's like it's not. This isn't one thing I can really recommend to people who aren't already invested in Guardians of the Galaxy, or just when they hear Annihilation and come running. Because overall, it's fine, but I can't say it's the best that that Ewing or any of the other writers involved have done. So there's that.
So, if you think, if you've seen the movies, would you care? Think this movie is good or not?
Nope. No, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, the movies, or you've got like you're coming like from like the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're probably not gonna be invested in this. I mean, it's gonna take like some deep involvement with the comics I've talked about to be invested with this. So.
All right. Well, hey, there's your advice. So, thanks for that. That was pretty good. Do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Oh, next time. Well, it's like I guess we're talking about like series that I had trouble wrapping up to it's just I had trouble wrapping up. And that's like Raw Hero from Akira Hiramoto. Well, I guess to be paraphrasing this thing's a bit, the third volume of Guardians of the Galaxy is called We're Superheroes. Like it's emphasizes a more superhero approach to guarding the galaxy. And Raw Hero is basically like, the creator of prison schools attempt to like show us, hey, you know what does fan service look like once approached more like superhero aspirations? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
All right, then. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
Later, everyone.